Okay, so this has been obviously brewing for a little while that Mike Ashley wants to sell Newcastle United. Amanda Staveley put forward a bid about a month, maybe 2 months ago, and it became public about a month ago. Very close to completing the deal now. According to the BBC Sport website, we are on the cusp of Mike Ashley selling up Newcastle and getting out of town, which I can only say to all Newcastle fans is a blessing. We have waited 10 years for him to get out of English football. Sadly, he's still involved in Scottish football. But at the moment, it looks like Mike Ashley is leaving Newcastle and has sold it for 300 million. They say the talks are in a very advanced stage, but we are on the cusp. We are literally this close to Amanda Staveley and her backers buying Newcastle, which can only be a good thing. And for the £300 million asking price. So it looks like that the deal could be done. I followed Newcastle a lot on this channel, basically since the very early days. Before this was a uniquely sport channel, and this was a channel of various gripes and grievances that people had. I've been following Newcastle for quite some time as a story, and it initially started with their tax affairs being in the spotlight, and a tax investigation being opened against them, and then that investigation is still ongoing. So when she takes over and buys out Mike Ashley, which it looks like, she also inherits that tax investigation. Now, as Mike Ashley was the owner of the company at the time, does that mean he gets pursued by HM Revenue and Customs and the police further? Or will it just fall on the company? We shall have to wait and see. That is something I have been following. The fact that Newcastle have had, I think, 10 managers in 10 years, have been relegated several times. The fan protests, they were mentioned in a previous video, and I did get some feedback from some Newcastle fans about how those protests came about, how well or badly supported they were. Honestly, I can only see Newcastle fans being overjoyed by this news that she's going to buy it. She tabled a bid, it became public knowledge, so it was in the public domain about a month ago. I did a video on it. It now seems that we are this close to Mike Ashley selling up, and this can only be the best news football has had in quite some time. That also means that Rafa Benitez could have some money to play with in the transfer window, which can only be a good thing. Mike Ashley's running of Newcastle United has been erratic. Alan Pardew was his longest serving manager, and he's even mentioned off the cuff that it was a Mickey Mouse show behind the scenes. So there has been some. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Pardew as a person. I've met him. He's not a nice individual for me personally. When I met him as a kid, he just was one of them. Didn't like him. Didn't like his attitude. Bit full of himself. But as a manager, I rate him. And the way Newcastle dealt with everything whilst Pardew was in charge was an absolute Mickey Mouse show, and he's right. So it's all good news. We'll just have to see what happens. This is breaking as we speak. They're in advanced negotiations. We could be looking at in the next day or two Newcastle no longer being owned by Mike Ashley. But as Amanda Staveley was actually involved in Sheikh Mansour's takeover of Man City, she was one of the key players in that. Does this now mean that Newcastle will end up in another foreign ownership hands, or will it stay in British hands? That's the question. It does not matter who owns the club per se, as long as they get the fans passionate. Have been treated like crap for too long. The club deserves to be in Europe, deserves to be fighting for the Premier League, deserves to be in the top four. Because you go back 20 years, they were in the top four. They were fighting for the Premier League. And the last 20 years have not been kind to Newcastle. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. This is an ongoing story, so I'll keep you updated. Please like and subscribe, place your comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you tomorrow.